Hi, this is Andrea. I am an autism mom. If you're listening for the first time, I'm here to be the voice of my daughter, other parents, professionals, and neurodiverse individuals through our own lived experiences. I want to give visibility to these superstars that most of the time behind the scenes make a huge impact on neurodiverse lives. Welcome to the Neurodiverse Voices podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me. She's also an autism mom. She has created her own personal blog, which is called SENtipede, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I hope so. And I never told her this, but I really admire her because she's a superstar of a mom, and I'm very much looking forward to hear her story. Hi, Leandra.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be here with us.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Great, thank you. So what has brought you to this stage of your journey with neurodiversity?
So I've got three boys. I've got Joshua, who's aged 11. He's been diagnosed autistic and ADHD about 4 years ago now. I also have twin boys, Jacob and Jamie, who are about to be 7. They too are diagnosed. So I've got Jamie, who's autistic and ADHD, and Jacob is ADHD pending his autism diagnosis.
Wow, superstar, as I said.
Well, no. I try.
Yeah, I'm sure you do your best.
Exactly.
So we mentioned that you've created your own personal blog, SENtipede. Can you tell us a bit more about what motivated you to create it and how did you come about with having it?
Yeah, sure. So coming along on the journey with my son Joshua was quite a sort of challenging time. I didn't quite understand autism or any other neurodiverse traits. And so I was kind of on an overwhelming journey, feeling very lonely, and I thought to myself, how can I offload this sort of internal stuff going on in my head? So I created a blog, and I thought, I know what, I will just talk openly, frankly, about what we're going through as a family, and maybe share some content that I come across while I'm trying to empower myself and learn about neurodiversity.
And that's amazing, and you also get to help other parents. And
yeah, I didn't realize how much it would take off, really. I thought, will it even get a like? And it slowly grew, and I feel like it's now helping others, and I'm really grateful for every follower I have. So.
Yeah, and we are very grateful to have SENtipede as well.
Thank you so much.
So Leandra, going back to your 3 sons, can you tell me how much do you learn with them?
Every day. There's always something different, whether that be a challenge for them, a challenge for me. And as I said before on the blog that I have, I'm constantly learning things and sharing that with everybody. And I can't say that I'm an expert in anything, but I just find it fascinating.
Yeah, and as parents, we'll never be experts. Well, we kind of become experts on our children.
Exactly.
But it's always a learning journey.
Exactly, and everybody's different, and all 3 of my boys have different traits. They all trigger each other, and I'm slowly learning things about myself as well. There's a lot of things I can see that I do that might trigger them, or that I need to learn to deal with and work on. And I must say it's changed me as a person, but for the better. And so I hope it continues.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah. So in what areas do you feel that your sons and neurodiverse or other neurodiverse children and people are failed the most?
At the moment, I think society is still a big thing. There's still a lot of judgment, still a lot of lack of awareness and acceptance, and I think that's what we're trying to do here. But when it comes to the medical side, I would say the waiting lists are awful. There's some children that are starting off in primary school and not getting their diagnosis till secondary school, and that's such a huge chunk of their life that's being affected, and their families are being affected. And I think something needs to change. I don't know what that is. So if you've got any suggestions, let me know. But yeah, these wait lists they're not healthy, and it's affecting everyone's mental health.
Yes, and often we think about education. As we know, we are going through a bit of a crisis in terms of lack of specialists, schools, and all the challenges that parents have to go through with their children. But it also goes back to the health system,
Yes.
and there should be more alignment in between the education system
Yes.
and the health
No one seems to
system.
be talking to each other from what I see. Even within certain divisions, they're not talking to each other. It's almost like we're just a number. There's a lack of empathy and understanding even from the professional side. I'm not saying everyone's like that. It's just most of the experiences that we're coming across as a family and people around me. I'm just hearing a lot of negative feedback.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but that's why we need to put ourselves together and make sure we make some noise.
Yes.
For things to change.
And that's how things change, is by people coming together and having a stronger voice.
Yes, that's very true. So besides being a mother of 3, having your own personal blog, what else defines you as an individual?
Well, it's a difficult one, I must say.
We tend to get lost within all of this, isn't it? And forget about ourselves.
This is it. I've never really known who I was or who I should be or what I should become one day, even when it comes down to jobs, that kind of thing. So as I've got older and more mature and gone through certain challenges, I've discovered myself. So I would say it's my strength not to give up and to put myself out there for someone else and just be a better version and be their voice, advocate for them, get them the things they need and want. While I'm doing that for them, I'm doing it for myself.
Exactly.
So I'm growing at the same time.
Yeah, and that's kind of a full-time job that doesn't feel like a job.
Yes,
because
yeah.
it's natural.
Yes, definitely a full-time job, especially with 3. So yes.
Yeah, it's like a 3 times full-time
Yes.
job.
Yes. If only I got paid for it.
But what personal interests do you have? Do you listen to music? Do you do any activities?
So I'm not a very active person in the sense of doing hobbies as such, but I love my music. I have quite a varied taste, so when I'm feeling really sort of enraged or need to kind of calm, I will put my music on really loudly. I might do some rage cleaning. I also love taking photos. So as you might find on either my personal page or my SENtipede page, I do put a lot of pictures up. I also do it for the Gosford All Blacks rugby team.
Yeah.
So every Sunday I take photos for them, and I just love it. It's something that I can sort of say is my work, and it gives me that sort of freedom to express myself, but also give me my memories that I'll cherish forever.
Yeah, that's great. I just found 2 things in common with you because I'm very passionate about music and I love photography as well.
There you go. Wow.
That's really good. Can I ask what kind of music do you like, or you listen to everything?
Pretty much everything. I would say indie is kind of a general theme there, but I also like something that makes me want to get up and dance. So if I'm out, which is very rare, I would like to go and express myself a little bit on the dance floor.
Yeah, and dancing is really therapeutic.
Exactly.
We should do more of that for sure.
And sometimes I do some silly dancing with the boys in the front room, which they love.
Yep.
So, it gets everyone involved.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a bit more about the Gosford All Blacks Rugby Initiative?
Yeah, so I was speaking to a friend of mine, Rachel, who works at a charity called Kidlinks, and she was setting up a SEN session there, and she spoke to me about her husband who wanted to do something similar with his rugby, and so she put me in touch with him. So Darren and I got together, chatted about the sessions. I said, go for it, and I'll be there to help you and support you, be the voice as a parent, sort of from our point of view, and get my boys involved in something that the whole community can benefit from.
Yeah, and I have to say it's great. It's a great environment, and I would encourage all parents to take their children in there, because it really feels like very comfortable to be there. Children have a large space, but I will actually have Darren as a guest at some point soon.
Yeah,
so
that would be fantastic.
He'll be able to tell us more about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So Leandra, I'm sure you do a lot by yourself, but I think you have some support on your journey. Can you tell us who that is?
Yeah, so as you said, I do a lot on my own. My husband's self-employed, so he tends to work quite a bit, which means that I'm then the single mum, in inverted commas. And so the two people I would nominate as my support really is my mum, who lives in South Africa, but she's there on the phone whenever I need her. And she's also got experience with neurodiversity, as my family have quite a few members who are neurodiverse. So she gives me the more practical and experience, sort of from her point of view. And then I have my mother-in-law, who is there for me in the physical form. She's there for half terms, weekends. If we need anything, she will come up. She lives in Devon, so again, our network isn't close by, but they're there for us if we need them.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing about technology these days, isn't it?
We can be close.
We know it has the downsides, but at least
Yeah.
it brings us closer together.
Yeah.
And who is your biggest inspiration?
Well, I don't have a celebrity like most people probably would. I would say it's my mum. She's a very tough person, and she's been through so much. She's held her composure. She's got through so many hurdles, whether that be through neurodiversity or other things such as cancer with her husband. And she's just managing through, and I don't know how she does it, and I know everyone says that kind of thing, you're strong, I don't know how you do it, but I don't, and I just look up to her every day and hope that I have as much strength as she does.
That's certainly a superwoman and a great inspiration to have. So now that we are talking about superwoman, if you were a superhero or you would have a superpower, what or who would that be?
I would like to think that I could read people's minds, because you'd know so much more about them, what they're truly thinking, what they truly need, and by doing so you could help them so much more if you knew just how to deal with each individual in the way that they need you to help them with. So yeah, reading minds would be a nice one for me, I think.
Yeah, and I think that would be very beneficial, especially with autistic children. I would love to read my daughter's mind as well, most of the times, because yeah, sometimes we don't know what they are thinking. Well, in my experience, I never know what she's thinking, and it's quite easy for them to mask their feelings.
And the connections between some of the things that come out with, like my son had a really random name for something the other day, I can't remember what it was, but once he explained why he named it that, it made total sense. But if I could read his mind, I wouldn't have to ask him, I would just know, and things would just be a bit more fluid, a bit more relaxed, and maybe some of those obstacles that people face would go away.
Yeah, that's very true. So Leandra, what are your hopes for the future?
Well, as you and I are both advocates, we're trying to spread awareness and acceptance. I look to the future in the hope that we might not be needed one day, because it will be something that is accepted and understood. and that it would be something that is just naturally accommodated, and there won't be this whole sort of stigma around it. And yeah, so just hopefully that we'll be where we should be in a few years' time.
And last but not least, if your heart had a voice, what would it tell us?
You're exhausted, you're overstimulated, but you're a great parent, and don't give up.
That's really it.
That's really it. Just keep on going.
Keep on going. Yeah.
And you will get there.
Yes, and things will get better, and good things will come, or better things will come.
Exactly. Everything will be there for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you for sharing your personal story.
Thank you.
We will continue seeing each other.
Yes, of course.
For sure.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
Yeah.
I look forward to maybe doing a few more with you and discussing where we are in the next few months, maybe.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love it. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for listening to the Neurodiverse Voices podcast, and a huge thank you to Oxford Creators for letting us record live from here. They are an alternative provision for children with special educational needs, and they provide some classes. That's why you could probably hear some music in the background. Our next episode will be available within 2 weeks, and remember, I believe in the good things coming, so you should too.